Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the new head coach at Canton. That, of course, is Eric Newton. How's it going?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Doing well. I know we talked back in March when, of course, when the hiring was announced and all that fun stuff. But now that you're kind of a few months in, kind of really seeing how things are going, and what has it been like since you became the head coach?
I would say chaotic to be fair. So being hired later in the process, just trying to play catch up and then get like the install of the playbooks out to the kids as well, and getting them caught up on our terminology, and just getting a staff in place for our players at all three levels. So I mean, again, that was fast paced, and kind of again chaotic, but just the process of that was so fast moving. So
Yeah. What really what really intrigued you about this job here? You know the conference well.
I know the yeah, I know the
I
conference
know you
well.
were on the other side, but of course,
Right. Um,
but this is a conference you know pretty well.
yeah. I mean, Canton is a well-known school for a long time. I mean, they've been pretty dominant since the early 2000s. And then again, I think just teaching in the district as well. Um, and then coaching in California, I was kind of used to teaching and coaching in the same place. So when the opportunity came about that it was Canton, obviously piece up, is that very dynamic. All the students go to all three schools. I just thought that would be a good possibility for me to try and see if I can be a head coach. Like I want to take that opportunity, see if I can do it at a big time school.
Yeah. So I know the last few months you've gotten to know the kids and all that stuff. What was it like to kind of get to know them, get to know their parents, get to know their family? What was that all like for you?
Um, I mean, again, that was kind of chaotic because a lot of things were just happening so fast, right? I mean, but being able to see the kids in the classroom during our 6 hour and just kind of pulling them aside and talking to some of them here and there, trying to gain their interest of what they expect for the upcoming season. And then for those guys that are going to be seniors, like, do they plan on playing college football? Do they want to go to the next level? And just trying to figure out like, their likes and dislikes other than football. So trying to build that relationship with them. And then just communicating with the parents about, our program expectations. Again, just trying to be realistic with them.
Yeah. Um, what is of course you got to also put together a staff, not just for the varsity level, but for all three levels. Where
Yep.
are we at in terms of that?
So the lower levels are complete. The varsity levels, we're trying to like I'm good with where we're at. If we can add one or two more coaches, I will look at that possibility, but it's not necessarily a need right now.
Okay.
So
So really, what is the plan really for these next few months? Because, once we get to June, once we get to, as we're kind of closing down the 2023-24 school year and get and
yep.
prepare for the fall, what is the plan for this program for the summer? Because it's you guys are really going to get going with all the things that you're going to be doing.
So I mean, yes. So our summer we've got some team camps lined up for us, so we can get those kids in front of our coaches and learning our terminology. We got our summer workouts planned, and then just uh trying to do some more team building activities to try and build this culture up, and get Canton back to where they were used to be, as far as that top tier program.
Yeah. So kind of talk about like, coming into, you know, I know that this trying to, this for a lot of guys, this is their third head coach in 3 years.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like trying to get those guys through? Okay, we got to learn a complete new system and all that fun stuff. What has that been like to deal with that? Because I know they've seen a lot of change since they've been here.
Yeah, they have seen a lot of change. Getting those older kids, I guess, to buy in, and like, I mean, just being upfront and honest with those kids, like, this is what we're going to run, and then explaining why we're going to run it and what we're looking for. And again, like my staff, right? We're not going to be perfect. I'm not expecting these players to be perfect and learn everything right away. Like I try to tell them, it's going to be a process. Like it's going to probably take the whole year before some of it clicks for some of you, and some of you may get it faster. But I mean, it's just going to be a process. And once I see those frustrations, trying to alleviate those and let the kids know, like this, listen, this is a process. You guys have had a rough go with, they had a new coach last year.
Yeah.
Some of them coming in, right? That was their first time in the program, right? With
Right.
that coach prior to that. So just trying to stabilize the coaching situation for those kids and saying like, this is what it's going to be moving forward.
Yeah. And of course, the schedules have kind of already been put together. I know
Oh yeah.
the non yeah. The non-conference portion of it is where are we? I believe it's Bedford
Yeah, we're
again.
going to open up with Bedford again. Yep.
Okay.
And then
So
obviously we get into our KLA, which is pretty much set
yeah,
every year. So so we know how that's going to go.
of course, the crossover games will be at the west sites this year. Of course, that was at the east sites,
Yes.
last year. And of course, I believe the same opponents from if you basically just take a look at last year's schedule, basically everything is flipped. So
Right. Yes.
yeah.
So
So basically it's I think starting off with believe Howell week 2.
yep,
Uh,
week 2, we get Howell. I think we're followed with Novi and Northville.
yeah.
Yep. And then we get the park rival with Plymouth
Yep.
in there. So
Yep. I believe it's Plymouth, and then I think you go to Brighton.
yep,
Um, and then I believe it is
Salem then Heartland, and then the crossover.
Salem week 7, Heartland week 8, and
Yep.
the crossover game week 9. So yeah. So it's what is it like? Have you gotten a chance to, and I know you've known a lot of the coaches in the on that side of the league, because obviously with your time in the league on the other side, but what has it been like to have you gotten a chance to talk to the other coaches and all that fun stuff?
So I've reached out to a few coaches again. I know quite a few of them. But I mean, just it's been very receptive. So I mean, coaches have reached out to me like, I know this is your first go around as a head coach. So if you need anything, let me know. Which as a first year coach, I always appreciate, because there's quite a few coaches that you can always learn from. So,
Right.
but I was very surprised by the coaches that reached out. Like I wasn't expecting that. So
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, just I know we're not going to get into specifics. We'll save that for when you come up again in a few months.
all right,
But when when the season really gets going, and maybe like July, if you want to come back.
absolutely.
But what are some of the things that what are we going to see with the can I say the new Canton Cobras? Can I say that
I mean,
now?
that's what the official name is. So
Yep.
so I mean, you can expect to see, like, we're going to be very disciplined, well coached, and then like knowing what we're supposed to do on and off the field. And we're going to be very, very competitive in that aspect. So that's what, as a coaching staff, that's what we're trying to instill, like be competitive at everything that we do.
Absolutely. All right. Eric, thanks so much for the time as always,
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
and best of luck to the Cobras this offseason. We'll catch up with you in a few months.
All right. Thank you.